talk today about something that good readers do. I have a picture on our smartboard, and I want you to look at it quickly, and then I'm going to take it off of the smartboard. You ready? Okay, look quickly. There it goes. Oh, I know. Isn't that kind of disappointing? We're going to talk about what good readers do. I want to talk to you about the picture that I just showed you on the screen. Okay? And I want you to raise a quiet hand and tell me what you saw on the picture before I took it off. Riley, what did you see?
A bat.
You saw a bat. Okay? Caden, what else did you see?
It was
Hanging. It was hanging. Morgan, what did you see?
An owl.
You saw an owl. And move on and talk about what good readers do. Friends, you know what this reminds me of? You just had a split second to be able to look at that picture, didn't you? And then I took it away. This reminds me of when we're reading books. Some of us will just look at a page and then toss the book aside. And then get another book and look really quickly through it. And then they're done. And do you know what I've heard friends tell me in the morning? A friend told me one morning this week, Mrs. Darby, we need new books in our tubbies for our read to self time. And you know what I said? I said, oh, I know I did not just hear you say that. No way, Jose. Do you need new books in your tubby? Because I'm sure there are things that you are missing in those books that you've been looking at that you probably have never even noticed before. Because you've looked through them so quickly, like I just did with those books just a few seconds ago. I looked at just a few pages really quickly, and then I tossed it to the side and I picked up a new book. But there's so much that we can learn from books if we go back and reread them. Okay? Now, I want to show you the picture again that I just showed you a few minutes ago. And I really want you to look closely at it. So I'm going to count to 10. And I want your eyes looking at the smartboard, and I want you readers to be thinking about what you see and what your eyes notice about this page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
It's hanging upside down.
6. Lock it in your brain. Don't let your mouth erupt. 7, 8, 9, 10. Lyric. What do you notice this time that you've had a chance to go back and look at the picture again and really study it, really observe it, look closely at it? What do you notice?
It's red and black.
Oh. So you noticed colors this time. Red, kind of blackish. Okay.
Boy, that's a good.
Natalie, thank you for raising a quiet hand. What have you noticed this time about it?
It has red, it's a fox bat hanging upside down on a tree branch.
A fox bat? A fox bat. And then it's hanging upside down. Did you say on a tree? On a limb. Jackson. I'm this way. There are so many things that we noticed this time when we went back and looked at the picture again. we notice so much more things about our picture than when we noticed it the first time. Okay? That's what happens when we go back and reread. And as good readers, we go back into the books that we may have already read before, but we look at them again. And I have a chart that says readers reread. And I'm going to draw a book here. And I'm going to draw an arrow. To reread a book, that means we read it again. So, echo me. Rereading is reading a book again. Okay, we do some sign language in our class, and the sign language for again is this. Mirror me. Ready? Hands ready. Camden, I don't see your hands. Again. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again. Mirror me. Rereaders read a book again. Okay, that's looking at a book, reading at a book again. Okay? Now, I want you to know that there are two kinds of readers. I can look at this book. Okay, this book is about spiders. And yeah, I see a spider. He's hanging. And I look at this one. He's making a web. And do you see how quickly I'm going through my book? All right? There's so much more that we're missing, though, in our book. It's kind of like when you're driving a car and maybe your mamas and papa bears drive a little too quickly. Do they do that? Yeah. They drive too fast, and then all of a sudden they've got to put on the brakes and they go, "Arr!" Have they done that?
If you go way too fast.
Mrs. Darby's done that, I have to admit. They go too fast, and then all of a sudden they've got to put on the brakes. Well, readers do that sometimes. They get to looking through books so quickly that they have to put on the brakes, and they go, "I need to slow down. I need to slow down and look at the illustrations and read the words a little bit slower." Okay? Now I want you to be my spies. Can you be my spies? That means spies mean, being my spies means you're going to watch me very carefully, and you're going to watch what I do. Look closely, my friends. So one type of reader is going through a book really quickly, not putting on the brakes, but another reader is like this. I'm looking, Miles, can you get the door for me, please? It's looking at the book and the illustration, and I can see how I'm running my fingers across the page, my friends? Sometimes that can be a good strategy to help us look at the book more closely as we reread it, okay? This spider is hanging upside down. Looks like he's making a web, and the web kind of looks a little sticky. Looks a little sticky, and oh, I see 8 legs. I see some fangs right here. I bet he uses those to bite into his insects that he's catching in his web, Camden. And oh, look. I notice the silky thread. It's coming out of his bottom. Oh. Ew. No. But it's disgusting. Do you see when I go and I put on my brakes, friends, and I go back and I look at the pictures and the words again, my brain fills up with so much more learning when I take my time and go back and reread, okay? Now, it's your turn, my friends. I'm going to show a different book, different page up on the smart board. And you are going to, can you please sit up? You are going to talk with a partner in just a minute when I give you the clue. You're going to talk with an elbow partner about all the things that you notice and observe about that page. Okay? Remember, readers, to slow down. Slow down when you're looking and when you're reading. Are you ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. Here we go. Here's the new page. I want you to go ahead and turn knee to knee with a partner. Teach. Back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Friends, it made your dear teacher happy to hear some of the things that you were saying. I heard someone say, I noticed that it's a really big spider and it's got tons of baby spiders on its back. The mama spider is carrying the baby spiders on its back. When you first look at it, you might think, oh, it's just one big spider. But if you look more closely, you notice that there's tons of baby spiders kind of camouflaged on that mama spider. I heard someone else say, I noticed that it has 4 eyes. And when we talked about spiders, we know spiders can have 8 eyes. Some of them have 4 eyes, and actually some of them don't even have any eyes, certain types of spiders. I heard someone else say, and I think Liam even came up and noticed the little spiky places on the spider's legs. I heard someone else say it's kind of furry. Someone else said, I noticed its sharp fangs. I bet it uses that to sink its fangs into its prey, into the insects that it catches in its web. I heard wonderful things as I was walking around, and that makes me so very happy. I want to go back to the first story that we read, or that we looked at, of the bat. Friends, when we first showed this picture of our bat hanging upside down, I'm going to cover it up with sticky notes here to show you that you may have, the first time you saw this bat, you may have only noticed that it was hanging upside down by its feet. You may have noticed that it looks a little bit like a bat. Some of you thought, oh, I don't know what animal that is. Maybe it's an owl, something that lives in a tree. But as we looked a little bit closer and reread this illustration, you were able to notice so much more when we slowed down, put on the brakes, and reread the story. When you reread a book, you have a chance to read and learn so much more, and that's what helps us to become better readers.